Hoka, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of July the 29th, 2022. Why is Alita's appeal so all-encompassing and engrossing? Where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the Sourcemonger Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado, and I have with us today Chaos Nova from Mentor, Ohio. How's it going, Chaos?
Going great. A little brief, but hey, nice to stop by.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Glad you could join us. And we also have from Fountain, Colorado, Lee Lemon. How's it going, Lee?
Howdy. Going pretty good.
All right, cool. And we just had Safani Sung from California join us. How's it going, Safani?
Creek.
Yeah, good you could join us.
Yeah, thank you, Creek.
All righty. So anyway, we're going to talk today about a topic we've kind of talked about a few times, at least have talked around it. We've talked about why we love Alita so much, certainly, and we've talked about what impact Alita has had on our lives. But I guess we've never talked about how that happened to us. You know, how we feel like she is so encompassing and engrossing. You know, that we would work so hard to get a sequel. So that's where we are. And I guess Angelus he may be at work. I'm not sure. I sent him certainly the link for the stream, but he kind of works weird shifts. So I'm not sure he'll be joining us, but he might. Okay, so anyway, before we get into the main topic, I just got maybe about three things I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about a couple of them very briefly. I've been, as you guys know, promoting, a couple of things, a couple of series, I guess. One on Prime Video here is Undone Season 2. Really great series. I finished watching it about 3 weeks ago, and it's super. It's a really well done series. The effects are really good, and the story is really, really great in it. So I highly recommend that you tune into that one if you have the Prime Video subscription. It's worth the watch, as they would say. And last night, I watched the first episode of Salvage Marines, and that's got our other girl in it, Elle Lamont. And I sent her a text saying, wow, I really enjoyed the first episode. She responded back with, I'm glad you're enjoying it and stuff like that. So she plays a squad commander in that thing. I guess a squad of 8 that are actually she's in command of. So she does a great job on that. And the first episode pretty much was about, the Salvage Marines and how how they got into that service. And the first episode's about the training of the folks that are, the soldiers that are in the Marines. And they just ended the first episode with their very first mission, which was a combat mission. So I'm looking forward to watching that. I'll probably watch the second episode after we get off the stream here, because it was really good. And the way they put together the first episode is really well done, I think. Also, you guys probably maybe have seen on Twitter, I guess KranberriJam actually, put together a commission for me, I guess, on plushie Alita. And I did a video on it. I'm going to load it up to my YouTube channel, I guess, probably on Sunday, I guess. But, I'm still working on that. I just want to make sure I got it exactly where I want it. But I got the first draft of this thing put together here. I'll probably change the lettering on that, on the music behind it. And it's just an unboxing is all it is. But I got some pretty cool stuff from Kran in that thing too. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that so you guys can basically see what Kran did for me. It was really super. Anyway, that's what I'm going to upload, I guess, on Sunday, and it's really kind of cool, that plushie Alita. You know, I like the way her hair is too. You know, it's kind of like Alita's hair in a lot of ways. It's sort of just laying down at the sides. You know, so I really like that a lot. And yeah, Lottie, I had to edit out some of the video because it took me a long time because I had to hold my camera, my phone camera, with one hand, and undo the wrapping with my left hand, which I'm not left-handed, so I wasn't very good at it. So I probably edited maybe 20 seconds out of it. That's why you saw that little bit of a dissolve in there. But yeah, I'm really glad I got that thing, and I put the two Arizona tea cans up there in my bar. And I'm gonna probably move them around a little bit because I don't ever intend to drink that tea, by the way. It'll be mint in can, I guess it was. So anyway, really, it was a lot of fun, and Kran did a great job on that. As a matter of fact, she gave me the box over a week ago. I just hadn't got around to undoing it, or unpacking it. When I was in North Carolina, went down to visit, I went from where my house is near Linville, North Carolina, to where we meet usually at this one bar, which is a really neat bar, there in Gastonia, North Carolina. So it was pretty nice, Yeah, you're right, Lee. I do need to get a I do have a tripod. The problem is I don't have a mount that I can put my camera on. My old camera is got a different mount, and it won't fit my new camera, so I got to buy a new mount for that thing. But you're absolutely right. So anyway,
I've got a special stick holder thing that I can hold a iPad or iPhone with.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll mention this. It's called the selfie stick. It's adjustable.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but even that one though, I would still have to hold with one hand, right? So I'd pretty much be screwed.
I kind of fastened mine to a backpack strap, but it's still awkward.
Well, I do have a tripod, so I've actually got two tripods. One's a really old tripod, but yeah, I do have two tripods, and one would work perfect if I had the correct mount, which I'm going to buy that tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, I'll probably just go over to go to Best Buy or something like that. And I see Alita Army Turlo Dorman's out there, so thanks, Turlo. I appreciate it. Yeah, I highly recommend going to Alita Army's website. It's really good. He has some really neat videos. I like his videos a lot. So, yeah, I highly recommend going to that one. It's on YouTube. Just search for Alita Army. Of course, you'll get 3 or 4 hits. I think you'll get my channel, Turlo's channel. You'll get the Alita Army channel. You'll get Chaos's channel. There'll be a bunch of channels pop up there, but you'll be able to find it pretty easily, I think. Chaos, you got 2 instances here. I'm going to remove this one. I guess you had to log out and log in or something.
Yes, there was some kind of glitch. Take one out.
Okay. There we go. So anyway, if anybody wants a plushie, I'm sure Kran will probably shoot me for this. But basically, she did want this one for me, and she did a super job. So anyway, I highly recommend you getting a plushie from her.
It was a nice video, quick.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I had to adjust my mic there. It wasn't doing too good. So
yeah, because there's nice drinks. I drank it before last time. Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
I like those drinks. And green tea is my favorite.
Yeah, thanks.
I like that. This green tea is good. I tried this before last time, in the summertime.
Yeah, I'm not going to open those though. I'm going to let them stay. The tea stay in the cans. I guess you could go ahead and drink it and it wouldn't hurt. But
it's not going to expire. Yeah.
Depends on how you prefer the taste. I kind of like mine hot.
Yeah, I'd probably put it in the refrigerator, I guess, because I do drink hot tea, but I guess that's my English influence, I guess, or my mother was English at least. And that's one reason I guess I like tea. But usually when I drink tea, it's iced tea. So, but unsweetened iced tea, so I can put something like stevia in it. So because I don't consume sugar. So anyway, that's it for Plushie Alita. As you can see, it was really cool. And you probably saw a couple other things in there too. Whenever Cran does a commission for me, I always get another little extra artwork. She just sketches out, or she does, one that she did of a witch, that she actually did the whole thing, so anyway, I got a little bit of bonus there on that one. So, and then you saw that little it looked like a little, don't know who that character is, but it was on like a keychain attachment, and that was pretty neat too, so she gave me a couple of extra things there, with Plushie Alita, so it was pretty nice. And I got it setting right now on my, as you saw in the video, I got it setting right now on my Alita shrine, which now I've got, actually you only saw one little Alita there, but I've actually got 4 of them. I got 3 of them right here on my desk in my computer. They're all looking at me right now. So, okay, guys, I guess that's pretty much it. You got any comments about that video,
Oh, well, I just wanted to have a big thank you here. I'm kind of pushing time here, but I just want to say thank you for everyone who stopped by the hangout. Fist of the North Star, it was great. It's carbon inspired Kishiro writing Alita.
Yep.
But my next one, I was going to be Amazon. So we can also mention Undone or whatever for that. And the only other one I'm going to do, because fall training for my work is kicking in October.
Okay.
In October, I was going to do Vampire Hunter D.
Nice. You're going to do a stream on any of those, or
all of them?
Oh,
Cowboy
okay.
Bebop is on Amazon for cheap. In North America, it's like $4.99 for the entire series.
Oh,
so
wow.
we could literally just have a watch room where we share the stream,
Yeah.
watching it on Amazon, and $4.99 is $4.99.
Wow. Yeah, it's not much. $5 is nothing. So yeah, exactly. So yeah. So anyway, let me know.
That'll be the next hangout is Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, well, I'll let me know. I'll try to join, schedule permitting and all that, but probably will be able to.
Well, at least we'll share a watch room on Amazon so that we'll all stay in time with whenever it's playing. So it works.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for dropping by there, Chaos.
No problem. Got to catch some company.
Right. You betcha. No problem. We'll see you later.
Oh, and another showcase every Monday. So thanks for all the support and watching that.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. So anyway, one other thing Blotty said was, we should do a watch party. I guess I saw that a watch party on Salvage Marines. I don't know if we could do a showroom on that one or not, but it's a 6-episode series. So I don't know if we can do that. We'd have to do 6 watch parties. They're only, the show is only like, each episode's only like 45 minutes. So it's not too bad. Now you have to watch commercials, it's on Popcorn Flicks, but it's okay. I don't mind sitting through the commercials, and L's pretty neat on that. She's, like I say, she's a military lady in that one. She's a squad commander, which would be like, I guess in the Army, I guess, or the Marines, that'd be more like a corporal, I guess. And there's like 3 of them, and that's right, Bloody. It'll be cheesy fun. Yeah, it's a good series though. I think it's going to be really good. So I'm going to probably watch the 2nd episode after we get off the stream tonight, I think. Okay, anyway, getting to the main subject here, I guess this is a variation of, another slide that we've actually put together, and I've added a few things to it, obviously. But before we get into why Alita is so encompassing and engrossing for all of us, and I think we'll all agree that Alita does, we are all engrossed with Alita. We all of us love Alita and all that stuff. Of course, the Creek does, because she's my niece. So anyway, but certainly Uwu figures into this. Of course, I had to put that in there for Angelus. He's he always brings the Uwu up, and that's a good thing. Just her presence, just who she is as a person, I think is another thing that captivates us. And, you know, even though she's a very strong person and is an extremely good fighter, and it's somebody you don't want to mess with, you know, if she gets mad, if you get on her bad side or you're her enemy, that's a side of her you do not want to see. But generally speaking, she's a very compassionate person. You know, she's very caring, like with Ito and Hugo, obviously, who she actually had a crush on, I guess. And in the manga, we saw how she was, you know, doing that, you know, being with Figure 4, you know. Now, the thing about that one, and I've said on a past stream, that those two relationships really started out in different, like, quadrants, if you want to think of it. You know, with Hugo, when she saw Hugo, she was smitten with him immediately, you know. But with Figure 4, that was kind of a contentious thing to begin with, you know. And I guess, you know, he kind of brought her around, you know. She was in a pretty dark place, you know, and he kind of, you know, kind of revived her humanity, I think. And, you know, and then she eventually, you know, kind of fell for him, you know. And he's a really big, strong dude, you know. So that's one thing I like about him. Whereas Hugo is a little bit more, well, I wouldn't call him a wimp. I guess I've said that on some streams. He's not really a wimp, but he's not Figure 4 either, you know. Certainly she's superhuman. Now, she's not a superhero per se. I mean, she definitely has abilities that are superhero level abilities, but she is not a superhero. She is just a person who's trying to survive in her environment, and she's doing what she thinks is right and that kind of stuff. Now, that says she does fight some pretty bad people, and she dispatches a couple of them, you know, or actually 4 of them in the movie, and kind of does, you know, kind of kicks the pan's butt twice, you know. So anyway, she's very capable in terms of fighting skill. You know, she's extremely tough. She can be extremely aggressive, you know. And even though she is compassionate, like we said, and I've said it on other streams, she can definitely go sideways on you if she gets pissed off, or, you know, if she, you know, she perceives a threat, you know, she can definitely, you know, take care of that situation. And she does fight for what she believes in. So, you know, and that's the whole, and she will do that without hesitation. You know, whereas some people might wonder, oh, should I get involved with this? Or I don't know if I can do this. And, you know, this is dangerous and stuff like that. She doesn't do that. She, you know, she wants to act. She just acts, you know, she don't even think about it. She just does it, you know. And as Ito told her, you know, she is drawn to conflict, you know. Then it's quite a dichotomy, really, being drawn to conflict like that, but being compassionate in one person. That's a pretty interesting combination. She is very impulsive. Now, that said, she is a kind of a strategic or tactical thinker. She is doing that, but like I said before, she just reacts. You know, if something is not right, you know, if she sees that there's a kind of evil going on, you know, I do not stand by in the presence of evil. She acts. And
she definitely strikes me as more of the actions speak louder than words sort.
Absolutely. Yeah, she doesn't talk a whole lot. You know, I mean, certainly with Ito or Hugo, she talked quite a bit, you know, and that because, you know, she cares for them. And of course, she talked a little bit to Zapan, you know. I think that was all kind of a condescending type of thing, you know. And she did talk to Gruishka, you know, a couple of times, particularly at the end, because she knew that Nova was riding Gruishka. You know, it had Nova's, that telepresence chip, Nova was kind of involved there. And she talked to him that way. But you saw how she will spring into action. I mean, when she fought Gruishka that second time, she had one arm and no legs, and she still rammed her hand in his eye sufficiently to cause him some problems, you know. And she's definitely somebody who does not hesitate. And when she has her mind on something, those last 2 bullets is some of her most endearing qualities to me. She does achieve the objective, you know, whatever it takes, she's going to do it. So anyway, that's kind of what my size up for Alita's characteristics. And I think a lot of that is some of these factors of why she is so engrossing and captivating to us as Alita Army members. That's why we love her so much. So what do you think, Lee? What's your take on all this?
Well, I think you summed it up pretty good. Can't really think of anything I could add to it.
Yeah, she can get mad. There's no doubt about that, but her training is what it is, and I think that kind of helps her. Well, that's part of that perseverance and determination she has, is to achieve the objective. That's a very military oriented type thing,
Yeah. I think it was just a fan was pointing out. She has hesitated sometimes due to maybe emotional reasons or something.
Yeah.
But she does definitely, once she decides on a course of action, she doesn't hold back.
Yeah, she goes out full force, as he says. Yeah, for sure. And I see Sin of Sanity's out there. Oops. And I see that Hybrid's out there and Mikey Vike are out there. So there's a lot of good Finestro's out there. So really, really good. And so was Vladi, of course. So, but yeah, Alita, Alita is just somebody that when you see that movie, or you read the manga or even the anime, I was watching some of the anime on Alita Army's channel, Turlo Dormans. He did a new video of Alita fighting, I guess it was Grusicka, I guess that critter was, and she actually did one of those kicks on him like she did on Nisiana, where she took her head off, but she did the same kick on the Grusicka, I guess, and knocked him off the ledge and jumped back on the ledge before falling down, so it was she didn't hesitate on that one too. She attacked him and did him in, or at least defeated him, so. What do you think, Safani? You got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, looks like he's still muted.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we can move on there. So I guess the next thing to ask is what is it you find in Alita, Lee, that makes her so encompassing and so engrossing? I mean, why is it do you have this attachment to her?
Well, I have been trying to think of a specific answer and been hard pressed to nail down one specific or just even a few specific points. I mean, I actually read the manga back in the 90s after I got out of the Air Force.
Ah.
And they didn't actually, for whatever reason, they didn't actually appeal to me at the time. But when I saw the movie come out, I remembered the manga. I remember that I did have some interest in it, so I went to go see it.
Yeah.
And I guess it's something to do with the way Rosa brought her to life. It basically brought those qualities in her more, it brought her to life, I guess, in a way the manga just didn't at the time.
Yeah. Although the manga is pretty good though in terms of how Kishiro portrays the action in it and that kind of stuff. But I kind of agree with you. It's kind of hard, especially if you're used to seeing movies. Maybe I guess the manga.
That's the thing. I've gone back and read the manga again, all the way up to the newer Last Order.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I just connected with it a little bit better this time around.
Yeah, I'm like you. That was the same way, kind of the way I did it too. Although I probably wasn't as familiar with her as you were on the manga, So what is it? Is it her personality that does it for you? You think, or is it just the whole package?
I suppose to some extent, it's the whole package. I mean, her fighting skills, her capabilities are certainly impressive, but I think it's her ability to basically care about others when it seems so many others around her don't is something I find, I guess you'd call it endearing. That's certainly a strong point.
Yeah, it is. Anybody that wants to join, Come on and tell us why you think Alita, how does she appeal to you? Why is it so engrossing for you? So if you want to come on there, the link is in the chat. Yeah, I think Alita is, well, I got my turn coming up, and I guess Angelus is probably not going to make it, but yeah, I'll reserve why she's so encompassing for me for a little bit later. So, what about it, Safani? What is it about Alita's appeal that makes her so captivating for you? What is that? What quality in her grabs you the most?
It's mostly like stunts and fighting skills and like shooting guns and maybe later using his gun range maybe.
So you like the action part of it, right?
Yeah, I like the action part.
Yeah, and she's certainly capable, isn't she? I mean, yeah, I think one of the things that's kind of interesting for people that see the movie is that they go into the movie with kind of a preconceived notion if they don't know the character that well, and they see kind of a teenage girl, and they form this opinion, of her abilities or whatever. Because I know I did this, and I kind of said, well, I'm gonna give this a chance the first time I saw it, but just the holy crap, when you saw her fighting, you say, good God, this person can really put it together. And I can see why you like that, Safani, because that's one of the things about her that I liked too, so. Now, if anybody wants to tell us why Alita is so engrossing and encompassing, go ahead and put that in the chat, and we'll put it up on the screen here, and we'll talk about it. And I guess Cinesanity kind of agrees, I guess, with Just a Fan in that, yeah, she does, and I have to agree. I guess I got to step back from my original statement. She does hesitate for sure, but when she does make a decision, when she does decide it's hell or high water, she is going to do it. She doesn't, it's like you were saying a while ago, Lee, she does not hold back. When she fought Colonel Payne in the manga, that was another example, she goes all out. And when she fights Gerwishka, she also goes all out. Even all 3 times she fights him, she goes all out. Of course, the last fight wasn't much of a fight, really. I mean, after, she healed up from being punctured by those grind cutters, she, basically the fight was over in 10 seconds, because she's way too fast for him. And he's just kind of he's got a lot of power, but he's slow and lumbering, and she's certainly extremely fast and probably as strong as he is at least, So, and I think in having that plasma weapon was something else. So,
yeah, I think once she got that berserker body, that last fight was basically over before it even started.
Yeah. And the only reason he punctured her like that is because it surprised her, because she was distracted with Vector, talking to him. And I think that was by design from him. He probably did that on purpose because he was probably waiting. And there's Just a Fan. How's it going, Just a Fan? I think you're muted.
He might be having trouble with his mic.
Yeah, he might be having trouble with his mic. Yeah. So anyway, stick around there, Just a Fan. Don't drop off. When you figure out what your mic is, we'll come back to you on this. So, yeah, I think a lot of folks certainly. Oh, there he goes. He's got it.
All right. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you fine. Whoa, sounds like you were near a highway or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort a couple of things out at the moment.
Okay. What is it about Alita you find encompassing or engrossing?
Oh, he's a little busy right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess,
No, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got it. I got multiple windows open, and it was getting some playback weird.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
No, I guess we've hit a lot of the points mainly, but it's to me you've kind of got it a little bit backwards there, where Alita is all encompassing, so therefore she is appealing. She's not just somebody who is randomly impulsive. She does have human emotion. She does have moments of doubt, of hesitancy, where she just thinks things through. Where there's plenty of other times where she doesn't think things through, where she acts very impulsively, very emotionally. It's a pendulum. It's many, many, many sides to the same person.
Yeah.
And that to me is what makes her so appealing, is that she's not just one true personality. She's not exactly pure of heart. We've said she's not a superhero. She's not the true blue, always good, always right, always
Yeah.
whatever. But, at the same time, yeah, she's got a vicious side to her, but she's not necessarily, she's not the impulsive person. She's not the vicious person. She's not the violent person. She has normal tendencies towards everything, as any kind of middle of the road normal person does. What's appealing though to me is the extremes that everything is taken to.
Okay.
There's very little instances where she's like in the middle.
Okay.
She's hard. It never seems. Like if she cares about something, she loves it with all her heart.
Mhm.
If she hates something, well, you better hope you're not what she's hating.
Yes.
Yeah. It's that kind of a thing where it's like she's very, I don't know what, I guess you could say passionate, but passionate not as like the purely positive manner, but more like the energy fueling whatever she's doing.
Yeah.
So if it's negative passion or positive passion or inward or outward passion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that.
is rather,
Oh, yeah, that third bullet up from the bottom. I didn't mean to imply, and maybe I did, that she's always impulsive. I didn't mean that. I mean, she can be. In other words, some of those things you were saying about how, she can, and like I said, she can kind of go sideways on you. She has that at her disposal. I think basically she is a good person, basically, but she, like everybody, she does have that side to her. And I think maybe to your point, just a fan, that maybe another
Going
bullet.
sideways is what makes her the good person.
Yes,
I don't think anybody who's truly a good person is incapable of going sideways on somebody. Like, I think that's the strength. Obviously, that can be a bad thing.
Yes.
But if that's all you've got to your personality, but if you've got a morality where you're constantly at war in some ways with yourself,
yeah,
then you actually have to, evaluate, think things out, or react differently depending on the situation at hand. That to me is what makes somebody human.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of like I think what you're saying, and this is the way I interpret you're saying, is that she does have those qualities that she can be impulsive. Like when she jumped down that hole after Grishka, that was kind of impulsive, But when she was kind of fighting against Zapan, that was measured. That was not something that she just sprung into action on just a whim. She kind of set that up, So I think to your point, I think you're right, actually, because I agree with that, so.
in a lot of ways, I would almost say that's backwards. I would almost say the impulsive fight was
Okay.
against Zapan and the bar. And I would say the calculated fight was the one against Gruishka.
Okay.
And what I'm using to justify that is she runs away, I guess more in the movie specifically, the manga not so much, but in the movie she's mad at Ito. She's furious with him that he won't put her in the berserker body.
Yeah.
So she runs away just to spite him.
Yeah.
And basically just goes and says, I'm just going to force everybody to like me, basically.
Yeah.
But I would say she is running on complete and total emotion, blinded by any logic that could possibly even direct any kind of a good outcome. Like, there's no way, even if she did beat up everybody in the bar, there's no way that can end in a positive manner.
Yeah.
But then the calculated part, the whole kind of overarching theme is the whole point. The reason for the berserker body was to get back at Gruishka. The whole reason for the alley fight, the current overarching villain do take down is Gruishka.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of the bar fight was Gruishka. And
Well,
then,
she didn't actually know Gruishka was coming though when she was fighting the Hunter Warriors.
No, but
So-
she was trying to round them up to
Yep,
go
exactly.
after
Yeah,
her.
she was. Yeah, that's right. She
Right.
was trying
No,
to do that.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's 100% correct. So then, and that's my point. So then when Gruishka shows up, everybody abandons her. And she's got some decisions that can be made pretty much right then and there. She could run away and get out, no doubt. There's plenty of escapes.
Yeah.
Especially when Gruishka jumps through the floor, she could just walk out the bar and that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that'd be the end of it. I think he would come after her and Ito again.
But for that night, for
that time, yeah, right.
For that night, like there's nothing
Yeah.
that's forcing her necessarily to jump down.
Yeah.
And so that's the part where you can see her eyes really start twitching. And she is thinking through absolutely everything. And just to your point, if she doesn't do something, Gruishka is going to come back.
Yeah.
She's the only one who cares, even remotely.
Yeah.
And the only one who has any kind of motivation. So then you see her take one deep breath and jump down. And that to me is the thought through.
Yeah.
Justification.
I see your point, but where I was coming from on the impulsiveness was like I was kind of extrapolating from. I don't know if you know who Sun Tzu is, but
yep.
One of the things that Sun Tzu says is you should know your enemy as well as yourself, and
Yep.
if your enemy is like on the high ground and you're not, you do not attack him. Well, in this case, she's jumping into something, that hole that she has no clue what's down there.
Yep.
So, and that's the only part of that. I agree with you in terms of
that's
the actual setup. Yeah, but I agree with you that that's kind of the overall premise, the way the thing worked out, But I think that one single act of not knowing what she's going to encounter when she jumps down that hole, I think that one particular action was impulsive. Now, everything else was, I want, this is all about Gruishka. I want to get the Hunter Warriors and all that. I agree with all that, But I think a cooler head, which, she can be, I wouldn't say a hot head, but I would say she can be kind of,
I would say
like you say, passionate. Yeah.
I would say that was probably, I would say the instance before she jumps down in that hole is one of her clearest, is probably one of the moments in the film where her head is the absolute clearest. Like she is staring at the jaws of death.
Yeah.
She knows she can't come out of there alive. So to your point, she doesn't know what's down there. She knows Gruishka's down there, but she doesn't know what other dangers lurk, if any.
Yeah.
She knows she doesn't have the berserker body, so she's probably not going to come back alive because nobody else supports her. For all she knows, Ito's going to abandon her
Yeah.
more than he already has, because she hasn't really at that point done anything to prove her worth, to prove that she's even remotely level-headed.
Yeah.
And that to me is kind of like, I guess you could call it like a growing up moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Where like, okay, now you've got to, yes, it's, I don't think impulsive, I know what you're trying to say, but I don't think impulsive is the right word. And I can't think of what the right word is, but the only way I know to say it is, it's like a growing up moment. Like, here we have a dangerous situation, but the correct, mature thing to do isn't, what needs to happen is that it needs to be faced. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. And to face that takes a really level head.
I would say maybe the word is kind of passionate, like you brought up a while ago. I mean, you could see her look up at Ito before she jumps down the hole, and Ito's said, Alita, no,
Yeah.
And you can see the look in her eye,
There's a lot of fear in there.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's not just fear either. I think it's a resignation that, like you say, that I've got to do something. My only thought was, now this is me, I would not have jumped down that hole, because it's like you're attacking somebody and they have the high ground. So I think if she had been more strategic in her thinking in that instance, because I do think she does plan things out, like you were saying, but I do think in that particular instance, I would have said, no, I'm going to make him come to me, because he is going to come to me, if I don't go after him, now to your point, if she doesn't, who knows what he's going to do, after that. So, I guess it's a difficult thing to just.
And to me, that was a pivotal moment in the film of like growing up, like that whole underworld fight. It wasn't about defeating Gruishka. It was about proving to Ito that she is not some impulsive psychomaniac who's just out to fight people and, whatever, that she is actually a trustworthy, caring, compassionate individual.
Who will do the right thing.
Who will do the right thing and is then therefore worthy of the berserker body.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the difference between Alita and me, is that I would not have jumped down that hole.
And that's one of the similarities, is there's plenty of situations where I can probably say if I had her past training, I would have jumped down that hole.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Well, she does know Panzerkunst, so she, I guess she does have that confidence. Maybe that's one of the things that drove her, that she maybe felt, like you said, maybe she felt like the odds of her coming back would be low, but she's got that training and she figures, well, who knows, maybe I can come out of this, but I've got to deal with it. So, yeah, I think maybe I agree with you.
Oh, I think she knew she wasn't coming back.
Yeah, possibly.
I think that was like I say, I think that was the growing up moment. I'm going to effectively sacrifice myself so that everybody else can be fine.
Possibly. Okay, I see your point. Yeah, you're going to say something, Lee?
Well, I was just going to say, I don't necessarily agree with her intending to sacrifice herself. Being a warrior, she knew the risks, but she went down there with every intention of killing Gruishka.
Yes, I think that's definitely true. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, her military training is going to tell her. Now, she didn't remember a lot, so she probably has an instinctive, kind of, this is my training, but it's kind of like Lee was saying. I think, there is a certain amount of risk in anything you do like that when you take on the challenge like that. And she was probably aware of that for sure.
Yeah, I think part of her training was just, if you've got a objective to complete, no matter what the risks are, you go after that objective.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a past I guess karate instructor told me once, it's not how many, if I tell you to go to the door, you're going to the door no matter how many guys are in your way to stop you. You're going to the door. And I think that's what Alita drives her in terms of her perseverance and determination. And I guess that was part of her jumping down that hole. She was determined to do something about him. So, I see that come into play for sure,
Yep, I would agree with all of that completely.
Yeah. And of course, the fact that she was chopped to bits and still, launched herself at him like that, that speaks to that perseverance thing. She cannot be stopped,
Yep.
Unless you kill her, that's the only way you're going to stop her, because she's not, a lot of people in that situation would have just give up. They'd have said, I'm dead. I'm if I can get away, I will, but not her, So Johnny Sci-Fi is asking me, when is my next powerlifting event? It depends. I have a friend of mine lives in North Carolina that wants me to participate in an event over there. And we kind of haven't worked out the logistics of that yet because he's supposed to lift in it too. But my next USAPL event's going to be in October. So, that's when we're going to be doing that. That's the first one I know for sure. If I do lift with my friend in the meet he's in, then it's going to be it's going to be toward the end of next month. So anyway, yeah, off topic, but that's okay. Okay. So yeah, I also agree that she's not a superhero. I've had folks say, well, they didn't want to watch Alita because they don't like superhero movies. Well, this is not a superhero movie. It's a movie about someone who is, making that journey of discovery of themselves. And they're gradually discovering that they have some extraordinary abilities and that they're not just some insignificant girl, that they are a very important person, and she is waking up to the fact. It's kind of like what you were saying, Justifan. She's growing up is what she's doing. And it's kind of neat to see that process in the movie,
Oh, absolutely. I when I try to explain this film to people, I always start off with the parallel to like Jason Bourne.
Yes.
Where he's not a superhero, but he's just got extraordinary abilities and is more or less living a life.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of ways these types of films like Battle Angel, I would call like real life movies, where there's not really a plot. It's just somebody's existence in a world that happens to have taken a little bit of a downturn, or some kind of conflict arises it's not really bad. Like, it's not superhero movie level bad.
Yeah.
It's not Armageddon. It's just something's happened and
Yeah.
now we've got to deal with it. And whether, it's the kids movies, it would be, oh, well, it's prom season, or it's the school bully, or whatever. Like, there's just things in life or you've lost your job, or you've started a job, or it's like there's things in life that happen that you have to deal with, things that are planned, things that are unplanned, and you've just got to find a way to figure them out, to deal with them. And that's what this movie kind of does. Like, the plot is life.
Yes. Yeah, the movie Alita Battle Angel, one of the knocks against it I had seen from some critics was that it was light on the plot. Well, it's not everything has to have a plot in my mind. I mean, think about like you were saying, think about all our lives. There's no plot to your life. I mean, you go to work every day, you do your thing, and then whatever you want to do for recreation, you do that, and it's a day by day, kind of enjoying life. Because I think there are times she's enjoying life. There are times when it's very, very tough, And
Mhm.
it's kind of like all of us, all of us go through that kind of an experience, maybe not existential like she's going through, where you got everybody trying to, get your heart,
Right.
but it's still a similar thing. There's
Yep.
there's no predetermined destination for you,
Yeah, it is very much a drama. Just a normal drama of film classification. So I think that was maybe where a lot of the confusion came from. Is it was this sci-fi action epic as a
Yeah.
classification, but in reality, it's a drama first and foremost, no different than. It's just interesting.
Well, I think the plot was her journey of
Yes.
discovery. That is the
no,
plot.
that's 110%.
Yes. Stefani, were you going to say something, or was that you, Lee? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, that was me. I may have made too much noise with something.
Oh, okay. I thought I might have interrupted you or something. I was sorry about that.
Oh, no, sorry. I guess my microphone, I keep forgetting my microphone is a lot more sensitive than I think it is.
Oh, well, no problem then.
So
we're
tapping the desk or something, it gets
Yeah.
picked up more than I realize.
Well, we don't adhere to any protocols here. If folks come on, if they can't even speak English, we'll put up with that. It's no problem.
Mhm.
By the way, if anybody wants to come on and talk about Alita, what it is about Alita, that okay, maybe not engrossing and all and encapsulating or whatever you want to call it. You just want to see why. You just want to say why Alita appeals to you. By all means, there's a link in the chat. Just click on it and I'll let you on. Johnny Sci-Fi says there was definitely a plot. It may be not a plot like some of the critics and even some people that watch movies might think, but it was kind of like I was saying a while ago. I think the plot is her journey. That is the plot. And in that regard, all of us have a plot, because we are, we're living day to day, we're doing what we like to do, hopefully. And we're, maybe working, and maybe some of us don't like work that much, but it's the things you encounter day to day. And in her case, since she doesn't have much memory of her past, because laying in that scrapyard for 300 years is probably going to wreak havoc on your memory. I don't care what kind of nanobots or what kind of time stasis field you have around your brain. It's probably you're going to forget stuff. It'd be like going to sleep every day and you remembering every detail of your day from the day before. That'd be like what it is, except extrapolate that to 300 years and there you have it.
I can't extrapolate that to 300 minutes. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Hybrid has a good point here, because I think this speaks directly to that I do not stand by in the presence of evil thing, but she does have a predisposition for defending good. Now you're right. She's not goody two shoes. She's not the Superman archetype, where he's always fighting. He's always good, fighting against evil. And, he's always, the pinnacle of morality or whatever. She's not that, but I think in her is that she does want to fight against that which is not good, which is where that I do not stand by in the presence of evil comes from anyway. So, yeah, exactly, Hybrid. That's what I think. What do you guys think about that?
Seems right to me. I mean, she is a warrior. She's going to kill a threat if it pops up, especially if it's threatening, what she cares about.
Yeah. And I think to Justifan's point too, her jumping down that hole like that was probably the one of the main driving forces that, she saw Garishka as a threat. Now he's down there. Now I'm going to go get him. I do think
it wasn't just, I was going to say not just a threat to Ito, but she was coming to care about the city.
Yeah.
And he was also a threat to that city.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because go ahead, Justifan.
I was just going to say, I agree with all that. And to the point, Yeah, no, I agree with all that.
Yeah, because I do think, when you remember when they were standing in front of that kiosk and Ito was kind of going through all of the criminals, seeing if Gruishka was up there. You remember she said, you did report this to the factory, him killing all those women. So I could see right there, she was starting to get that feeling of, I wouldn't call it be against something illegal, but that was one of those feelings of something that was evil that's not being taken care of, and who has the power to do that? I mean, you could see the wheels turning in her head, just even
Yeah,
right
there was a threat against people who didn't have the power to fight back against that threat.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
she felt she needed to do something about it because she could fight back against it.
Yes. Well, she certainly did at the end, didn't she?
Mhm.
Yeah, that fight lasted 10 seconds.
Yeah, certainly at the end. And to me, that's what's even more appealing is in the underworld fight where she does decide that she's facing the threat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she knows she's even against a lot of the other hunter warriors. I think even though she knows she's got the superior training, I think she knows she's not really well equipped to deal with this souped up Gruishka.
Yeah.
And so that to me is what's even more admirable is that it's the very much it's an overused trope, I think, but it's a very true trope when it's done correctly as it was of somebody's got to do something. And so I'm going to go do it, even if I really maybe don't quite know what I'm doing, or I'm not exactly as well equipped as, say, the smarter person in the room, or, things like that.
Yeah. Particularly
basically, if nobody else is going to step up, I will.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, why don't we all band together? I mean, that's what she said, and nobody was doing it. So, and another telling part of that too is when she had that, her and Ego, they had that berserker body on the operating table or whatever that thing is. She's saying that this body has the power I need. So I think to your point, Justifan, she realizes that, okay, this doll body I'm in, it's not equipped. It's not equipped to fight, like I need it to fight. This is why I need this body, and Ito doesn't. Yeah. And Ito doesn't give it to her. So now she's up against it. So she said, well, that doesn't change anything. I still got to do something about this, because she does. Yeah. Go ahead.
The most satisfying part about the whole thing, which you don't really realize until the end of the film, with Hugo, is that Ito has enough parts lying around to just whip up a cyborg body.
Yeah.
Like, even after that underworld fight, like, he could have still been furious with her and said, nope, you're going. Like, what if Alita would have woken up in that clunky body Hugo had at the end?
Oh, she would have been pissed.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I mean, where, like, that's one of the criticisms that was always like, oh, well, you had a body lying around.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but didn't you see the end of the film where Ito threw together a cyborg body from the parts he had?
Yeah.
Like, he could have put her in that just as easy.
Yeah.
We're talking about, what, like maybe a week and a half tops for a time frame here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
From the time she wakes up to the time Hugo's dead, it's like that's probably only a couple weeks time frame or whatever, but it's like that's a very, to me, that made the underworld scene and putting her in the berserker body just that much more fulfilling. That she proved her worth. The point of the underworld fight wasn't necessary, like, if she defeated Grishka, great, but the point was to prove her worth to Ito.
Yeah.
And so that to me was just interesting.
Even though she was pissed at him.
Right.
She still, exactly,
She still wanted to, it's like, and back to the whole plot idea, it's like, that's life. You're not going to get along with everybody all the time.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, it's like you see it a lot of times. I don't know if it's, I can't think of what it is, but anyway, when, like, new group when people get kind of thrown into a group against their will, and they have to learn to get along with each other, and they have their blow up fights, and
Yeah.
Just
kind of like you do at work, right?
right, exactly. So, it's, to me, it's really nice seeing those types of films just in general, where, and to the point where it's like, why is Alita relatable? I don't know if, I mean, personally, I'm going to count the plot of the film as why she's relatable, is because it's just a real, it's a life film. It's a life lesson. The plot is her growing up. Lots of people I showed the film to were like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
It's like, well, she grew up. Okay, yeah, sure, but what happened? It's like, that's literally what happened. Like,
what was it around her?
Wasn't that heartwarming? Like,
yeah. Well, it's like, what was about her environment that had her growing up like she did? Because if you remember, when she got up out of the bed and she started to walk toward the mirror, the first thing that happens is she falls down. So and she gets right back up. So her very first act after waking up, she fails, but then she gets right back up, and goes right. Yeah. So that's that was one of the first things that started getting me hooked on it as I was watching it, because my first feeling about the film when I saw, trailers come out during the Super Bowl of 2019, I thought, nah, I don't want to watch a teenage girl fighting against robots, cyborgs, and androids. I don't want to watch that, even though I knew who she was. I mean, I definitely had seen it in a comic book, but man, when I saw that journey, just the first time I saw it, I mean, I was hooked. I mean,
I didn't even see the trailers. Like, I knew literally nothing about this film. I only knew about it because I stumbled upon the article about Tilly Lockey, and like the red carpet and all that, and it just popped up in my news feed. Like, that's all. I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't read a synopsis. I knew it was a sci-fi. I knew it was like a dark sci-fi film.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the time Alita made it to the mirror, I was pretty well hooked and engrossed in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, it was it was definitely one of the weirdest. It was the weirdest sense of satisfaction I've ever gotten out of a movie. Maybe not ever, but certainly I can count on one hand the number of films that have done that.
Yes. Yeah, I've been entertained by a lot of films, but the one that grabs you like this, like you were saying, because it's like she's overcoming all these obstacles. That's what she's doing. To me, that is the plot, sort of, or that is a good part of it.
And then not only that, you can take each one of those things that she's overcoming or persevering, even if it's something just falling down and getting back up in the first scene. It's like, and looking at herself in the mirror, like, there's almost not a single scene in the film that I can't point to something in my life and say, yes, that happened to me.
Yes.
In some form or fashion, whether it's directly or metaphorically.
Yeah, for sure.
So that, to me, is also what makes her so relatable, is that the film was just, the struggles and things that she goes through they're very relatable. There's nothing really like immense or suspenseful about them. It's just, they're just relatable. They're that perfect balance of fiction and reality.
Yeah. Well, she certainly made a impression on Ito, because Johnny Sci-Fi says, he can't imagine the sadness or regret that Ito felt, when he saw her, after Gerwishka had just cut her to bits. I mean, she had, like say, she had no legs. She only had her upper torso, part of her one arm, and she had one. And of course, when Ito saw her, she didn't have any hands. I mean, she was literally just tore to bits. And the first thing out of his mouth is, "I'm so sorry." I'm so sorry. and golly, that was a tough one too. That she brought the best out in him. Is what she did.
Yep, that was Ito's growing up moment, and
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so and I think she did prove to him after he put her in the berserker body, and she went through all that, but not ballet, but that all of that handstand and finger stand, all that, and shows her power, that she has with that plasma weapon, But then, she comes over and sits beside him. She has a smile on her face, and she just lays her head on him, like a daughter would a father. I mean, that was kind of a reaffirmation, is that, I've got all this power, but I'm still me. I'm not going to go crazy on you. The body is not going to drive me in one way or the other. I am me, and that's kind of like what he said. He recognized that when he said, this body is just a shell. It's not good or bad. You get to make that decision, So at that point, I think he'd even trusted her. I think.
I would. Yeah, I would say so. And I think the big hurdle too that he overcame was he finally, for lack of a better word, he found a way to mourn his daughter's death after all these years. He finally found a way to have closure.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the biggest problem, is he still saw his daughter in Alita.
Yeah, and too, when she was
getting that closure, having that final closure, like you say, when they're on the couch together, and he says, this is who you are.
Yeah.
Those things in conjunction, Alita proving herself to Ito, and Ito finally finding closure.
Yeah.
Is just, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I think that was another objective for her. She wanted to prove herself to Ito, and she did it, even at the risk of being chopped to bits, and dying, So, that's a good point there too, so.
Yep, exactly.
But, to your point about Ito getting closure, when she was sitting on that, after she had, beat the crap out of the cyborgs in the alley, even in her doll body, which was amazing, I thought.
Yeah.
She's sitting up there and she's looking at that picture of Ito's daughter, on that little handheld device there. And, she asked him, after he had told her about what all had happened and all that stuff with Amok and stuff like that, he says, it gave me no peace going after all these criminals, So she looks at him and she says, did you ever find peace, And you could see the concern she had for him right there, But he turns around and says, I found you, So to me, that was like saying, okay, I've got closure, at least the first stage of that closure,
Yeah, but then what does she say next?
Yeah, she said, but I'm not your daughter.
Which is effectively, and also said in such a manner that essentially says, I'm not the peace you're seeking. I'm at this point effectively just a coping mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I am. Yeah, I don't know what I am.
Exactly. So it's,
yeah.
Again, back to the whole why is she relatable? It's like, that's a very, very, very heartfelt scene that there's not a whole lot special about it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
It's reality.
Yeah, the haters didn't like all that stuff. Oh, it's weak on the plot. It was this, it was that. You dumbasses don't know what you're looking at. So,
Whereas if this was, any other kind of movie, that would have been a really nice heartfelt moment. She'd be like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you feel that. Whereas in this case, nope, we're snapping it right back to reality and going.
Yeah, that's right.
Not much deeper.
I'm not your daughter. Yeah. Yeah.
It just, the film just keeps cranking that dial up of reality.
Yeah.
Of we're going to make this as real and deep and emotionally impactful as we possibly can.
Yeah.
In as real of a manner as we can make it.
Yeah, that's right. You've been wanting to say something there, Lee. I keep interrupting you, I think.
Oh, no, just I was just agreeing with your earlier comments on critics and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny about that critic score, because I remember when I first started, doing stuff with the Alita Army after being on Twitter, I actually got 2 Twitter accounts, but on the Twitter account that you guys know me on, I'm basically, tweet about Alita and stuff like that, staying away from politics and that as much as I can anyway. But anyway, I think that, Alita, the haters is what got me when I first got on it, on that particular Twitter account that I'd actually been on since 2016. But, I discovered you guys basically. And I wondered, what the hell, what is it about this movie? These people are hating so much. I mean, it's a movie, for crying out loud. It's not some, crime against humanity or something like that. It's a movie. It's a story about a person, And after I'd seen the movie, I did not understand why they hated it after I'd seen the movie about probably at that point 5 times, And it was, to me, it was just puzzling. I just didn't, and there was a lot of hate going around with, and some of it I think is aimed against strong females. I think, Crest of Razor says that Alita has personality, unlike Captain Marvel. I think Alita has better personality than Captain Marvel. I don't know if I'd say that Captain Marvel has no personality. I don't think so, But I do think Alita has a better personality, and it's to Just a Fan's point. It's because this is set in reality, whereas Captain Marvel, it's kind of like a superhero archetype type thing, And of course, she has moments of some stuff too in that movie. But I think Alita is just soundly based in reality itself, And I think that's why one of the reasons the movie appeals to me so much. It's not some feel good, warm and fuzzy, type thing, and there's dangerous moments in there like you get in reality, so. Anyway, I'm running my mouth again, so sorry. So, which I can do.
That's okay. I think you're doing a pretty good job of summing up a lot of what we're thinking anyway. At least for me, anyway. That's one of the reasons I don't have a whole lot to say. It seems you're covering it rather well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all have our different opinions about Alita, but we all still love Alita. That's the one thing, I know there are some fans probably that get stuck on that first bullet up there, because she is cute. There's no doubt about it, but I think she is much deeper than that. I think her perseverance and determination, and being someone who does not let her power overtake her. Some people would get that kind of power and they would be, it'd be like to that phrase, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That doesn't seem to be her, Now, I will say at the end of the movie, when she kills Gorishka and kills Vector, to me, she is a lot more like manga Alita on that scene, where she's, you could see the intensity. Maybe that's the word we were looking for a while ago. She can be extremely intense, So,
she was really intense in the alleyway fight.
Oh, yes, she was. Yeah, she.
Just put that out there, and at least while we're on that, in the manga, when she is going up against what's his face? I can't think of his name. Makaku, in the when he steals the baby out of the bar.
Yeah, that's right, Makaku.
There's quite a few panels in that where she is pretty darn scared.
Yes. As a matter of fact, in the midst of that fight, there's a panel in there that says, okay, I was afraid at first, but now I've overcome my fear and I'm going to use it as my power, or something like that effect, So, she's, most people might let that fear overtake them, but not her. She's not going to do that. So, and that's another thing about her. She can be afraid. There's no doubt about it,
She's found ways. And I think there are times in the manga, I don't know that we've seen it yet in the film. I think we will, but there are times I think where her fear does overtake her. The most distinct time I can think of is when she is fighting the tuned agent copy of herself.
Ah, AR2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. AR2 is at that point, not in the beginning of the fight, but somewhere around halfway, she's pretty well psychologically gone.
Yeah.
And
Oh, hey, Max
that's
Yeah. Go ahead. What was you going to say, Lee?
Oh, I was just saying hello to Max Tack there.
Oh, Max Tech. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway, what was now you were saying something, just fan, and I interrupted you.
oh,
So,
all good. All good.
yeah.
But no, I think that's, like we've said, life is a roller coaster of emotions, but she's able to take what makes her unique, and what I think applies to a lot of people, especially like those with a military background or police background, is they're able to take their fear and channel it for good,
Yeah.
to be in a means to be productive. But that doesn't mean there aren't psychological ramifications to that, which if Alita was an all-powerful, force for good, there would be no ramifications to it. She would face
Yeah.
these fears because she's a rough, tough who doesn't feel anything.
Yeah.
But even after she faces these fears, there's always, most of the time, we see a few times in the film, especially when she's sitting on the bed looking at the moon, holding that doll right before the mirror punch scene. I mean,
Yeah.
you see a lot of things going through her head.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
think when
it's just interesting.
Yeah, when she first got punctured by Garishka, and she kind of went down behind the table and she looked up, I think that was a kind of a combination of fear and confusion. And then when she got up, she kind of, it's like she gathered her senses or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, but to your point on her fight with AR2, yeah, like some humans might do. She actually said, "Okay, I'm just gonna." I think this is the panel when she said, "I'm just going to give up right here." Because
Yeah.
I'll get to see Hugo again. I'll get to see whatever it was again. And then as the situation kept going, she kind of gathered herself. Nah, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to let this one win. I'm going to take her out. So I think.
I'm almost positive Lou takes her out.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, now that I think about
Or
it.
buys just an instant of time for Alita to win.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is watching how Lou reacts to Alita fighting. Because she was always taught that, this is, these are just machines, they're robots, they're whatever. Which is could not be further from the truth.
Yeah.
But it gives Lou the confidence she needs to face, I can't remember the name of her boss or whatever it is, but so she faces
Eisenberg.
Yeah, so she faces
that's
them
right.
and the other co-workers controlling the tuned agents, and says, well, if Alita's doing if that, I don't remember what she says exactly, but it's basically, if that thing is fighting that hard, well, maybe I can have some courage too.
Yeah.
And then, together they end up defeating AR2.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, all those things should just make her that much more relatable, is just how dynamic and in-depth her personality truly is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's the best and worst traits all mashed together to make something that is balanced.
Yeah, she's in the gray area sometimes, isn't she?
Very,
she
very, very,
is.
very gray area in general.
Yeah.
But to me, that's where you're kind of supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like that one bullet up there. She has human qualities. I mean, granted, she's 98% machine, but I think even though she's 98% machine, I think she is all human. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So,
Yeah.
Johnny Sci-Fi had a comment a while ago about being mission driven. yeah, she's definitely that, and that speaks to that perseverance and determination. I'm going to achieve the objective, and it's kind of your point, just a fan, of people that were in the military, say, or police. They can be very mission driven,
Yeah.
So, and I think that's her. Now, in her case, I think it's kind of instinctive because she has lost a lot of her memory, but I think her basis, her core is still, her, What's going to be neat, how she handles in the sequel, or one of the many sequels that the Creek wants, is that when she discovers her name is Yoko, that's going to be interesting, I think,
Oh, absolutely.
Because when one of the panels in the manga that I think is super hilarious, is that she's encountered chaos, and she's on that gurney thing, and he's kind of taking a few liberties that he shouldn't be taking,
Yes.
and he's touching her like he's not supposed to touch her, and she kind of like wakes up and she slugs him, boy. I love that, but her touching him, he's got that he's got that psychometry going, and he looks at her and they kind of look at each other. He said, Yoko, like that. And it was like her reaction was kind of interesting, so I think I want to see that on screen, and then they do some flashbacks, because I think when she hears her name, her real name, I think that's they have an opportunity to do some really cool flashbacks, I think, kind of like they did in the movie anyway, but I think that would be kind of neat if they did that,
Oh, I think so too.
And certainly she is Johnny Sci-Fi says when she hears her name, he's going to tear up. Yeah, I think we all are, Johnny. That's going to be kind of neat, I think. But I also want to see her, how she is with figure 4. Now, we know with Hugo, she's very compassionate with him, passionate with him. She loves him, It's going to be interesting to see how that evolves with figure 4, because with Hugo, her very human reaction to meeting a cute guy like that is that she's smitten, and of course, she's a teenager and all that stuff. But when she meets figure 4, she's probably about 30 years old, so she's got some maturity behind her there, and how they start that relationship out is they basically meet each other on the train, as and she kind of puts her finger on his forehead when he tries to flirt with her or something. She says, everybody that gets close to me dies. She has her finger on his forehead, and he still persists,
Yeah.
And I think she recognized that persistence in him too. But what's going to be neat is how her feelings for him evolve after she literally kicks his butt in the desert, because she does in the manga. She just beats the crap out of him, and he keeps getting up, and she said, I cannot believe this guy, I think it's going to be interesting to see how she reacts to that, because she is definitely much stronger and faster than he is,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we hit Alita pretty hard here on that one. Is there anything? Are we omitting anything? I mean, are we? Maybe there's some aspect to her that we're not maybe adequately addressing.
No, I can't think of anything offhand.
Yeah, I can't either.
Usually put together some pretty comprehensive lists. So.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that, because maybe that kind of channels everybody, and they say, "Oh, okay, well, he's already got it covered, so I don't need to speak about it." So, although I think all of us here on the stream, I think would be able to talk about Alita for hours. I think, at least I know I could. I do think the one thing maybe we could spend a little time on is fighting for what she believes in. I think maybe we kind of touched on it with her going after Gorishka like that. that's not so much her believing in something. That's more like, you know, she's trying to take care of a problem, you know, trying to solve an issue, you know, that she feels like, well, nobody else is going to do this, so I'm going to do it, you know.
Yeah, it's not. When we say, you know, she fights for what she believes in, it's not the Captain America,
Right.
you know, Superman, like, you know, I can't remember what it's called, but I can't remember what it is. Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, Alita's face is never going to be under a headline like that, even remotely. Like that was how, like, your stereotypical superheroes. I mean, every single one of them had some kind of catchphrase. You know, my head is not working at all right now.
I hate when that happens.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just find it interesting until, you know, it's just interesting because then, you know, a lot of the parallels that I draw are to characters. A really good parallel, I think, is like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Where, to my knowledge, he's super powered, but I don't think he's a superhero.
Yeah.
Necessarily. And again, fighting for what he believes in, much like Alita, is not. It's what your gut tells you the right thing to do is.
Yeah.
Not, here's some big, bold, put it in neon lights saying that we're all gonna, you know, passionately resonate around some kind of call to truth or whatever. It's like, no,
to
it's just
truth,
like,
justice, and the American way. Yeah.
It's like, why'd you do that? Well, because I felt like it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. In that regard, she's a little, if you saw The Watchmen, she's a little bit like Rorschach in that regard. You know, Rorschach, he's definitely not a superhero. Now, he's pretty talented at what he does, but boy, he is gray at best. He's in the gray area. You know, he's not a guy that, you know, is like one of those, you know, superhero archetypes, you know, himself, you know. I kind of disagree a little bit with the Batman thing. I think Batman's dark, but I do think he's still all about good. You know, I mean, I think
if you're referring to willpower like Cresta Razors is, then Batman's definitely got a unbending willpower.
Yes, he does. Well, anybody that would fight Superman is going to have some willpower for sure, you know, because that is kind of like Alita, because, you know, here Alita jumps down that hole after Gruishka. It's kind of like Justafan was saying, you know, she's got to know that her odds of coming out of this are low, you know, so low at best. I mean, she's probably got two possibilities, slim and none, you know, and she still goes after him. Well, Batman may have had the same thought, you know, when he fought Superman in that Batman versus Superman movie, you know, and now granted,
but he would take the time to get prepared.
Yes, that's exactly right. You know, so she is a little bit like Batman in that regard, but I think in terms of Rorschach as a person, I don't think, I mean, he does want to do good overall. I don't think he's quite maybe as compassionate as Alita is, but he is in some pretty consistent ways. He's kind of like Alita in some ways. You know, he's not a superhero, but he does want to do basically the right thing. You know, and he does do things that are not exactly legal, I guess, or the right thing to do, but he still does them. You know, because he feels like it is the right thing to do, so he fights for what he believes in. And it's kind of like that thing at the end of Watchmen. I don't want to get off of Watchmen too much, but you know, when at the end of that movie, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, you know, he cannot give in, you know, to allowing deception, you know, to continue, you know, because I guess Ozymandias had, you know, kind of, you know, killed millions of people to save the world, you know. And he just think that, you know, Rorschach thinks that's inherently evil. And he's not going to let this go. He's going to go do something about it. And of course, Dr. Manhattan stops him, you know, and we won't say how he stops him. So maybe not spoiler alert, but Rorschach is going to fight for what he believes in, kind of like Alita is going to do, I think, if she gets put in a position similar to that, because he had to know that his odds against Dr. Manhattan were lower than Alita's odds would be against Gruishka, because Dr. Manhattan's OP for sure, you know. So,
Yep.
Anyway, guys, I'm running my mouth a lot. So yeah, that's right, Johnny Sci-Fi. Yeah, Alita does not stand by in the presence of evil. That's her programming. You kind of got that, didn't you? When she's hearing this voice in her head. So, you know, basically,
I guess I would say like that line is, I do not stand by in the presence of evil. I would say that line is programming.
Yeah.
But I don't think her attitude.
No. Yeah, you're right.
I refuse to. So this goes back to the drawn to conflict thing. Like, I think that's a lot of times misinterpreted as somebody who is somebody who tends towards conflict. Alita does not tend towards conflict. There is conflict existing, and she feels the need to intervene in conflict. She's not causing conflict,
but
like
she's drawn to it. Yeah.
She's drawn to an existing conflict because she feels she needs to intervene. So then you have that. The only way I know to describe it is it's innate to her personality. So then you have the come along and say, hey, look at this. Are you a caring, compassionate person who wants to help others? Have we got a job for you? How would you like to be? So then but I guess my point is the training. I hate to do that. I hate to say that because that's really not very nice. But you take people like that who are already like tending towards those tendencies.
Yeah.
And then you train them to basically they have the willpower. You just give them now the training to properly use the tool they already have.
Well, you're reinforcing what's already there is what you're doing.
Yeah, you're reinforcing it. You're giving them the proper training to properly execute it, because I can speak from experience. There's plenty of times where I have gotten involved in things I know nothing about or how to deal with, but I felt I needed to get involved.
Yeah.
And then it's only later that, you get the training and skills and whatever you need necessary to, now I actually know how to handle said scenario.
Yes.
So it comes full circle, and then you can, next time that scenario happens, you can now handle it properly. And so it comes full circle. And that's what I think we're seeing in the film is, I don't think she's been programmed to behave this way by like brainwashing or training or whatever. I think she was already tending towards these tendencies, and that the training simply enhanced that to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's absolutely it. Alita was already had those foundational beliefs or whatever you want to call them, and the they just brought them to the surface more, I think, and equipped her with what is necessary for her to act out, I guess you could say, or not act out, but to I don't know the word to say for this because it's not acting out. To act on is probably better, on those kind of feelings, that kind of inherent personality. I guess that's about the best way I can describe it.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah. There's a lot about Alita for me that is a mystery. And that's another thing I like about that. And I am so glad that Robert Rodriguez did not do this kind of campy humor thing that they seem to do sometimes in Marvel films. Now, that said, I do like Marvel films. I really liked Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I thought it was great, but there's some kind of humorous little quips going on there and stuff like that. I am so
that style
glad
of humor doesn't necessarily fit with the universe.
with Alita. No,
of
it does
Alita,
not.
yeah.
No, it's there's a time and place for it, and it's not that you couldn't necessarily do it, but it's nice just from like a movie going perspective. It's nice to have that variety in film.
Yeah.
It's great to have movies where they don't take themselves too seriously, and it's nice to have movies that are real on a real level of seriousness. Because you can go the opposite way too. You can get to the point where you're so serious and dramatic and whatnot, where it's a complete opposite effect.
Yes.
And it's like, well, hang on, maybe it's not. There's like what the heck?
Yeah.
I thought there was like a car commercial or something where they do some like stupid parody like that, where it's like,
Yes.
the world is ending, but really it's like, no, I'm sorry, like the toaster not working is not the world ending.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like what Crest of Razor says. It's balanced. Yeah, I like that. Exactly. Yeah, Finestro and Sin of Sanity out there are having a lot of fun with Alita's berserker body needing air conditioning. Yeah, they are. So anyway, she probably does need air conditioning, I guess. I see vents all over her body, so maybe that's the heat dissipating, I guess.
Well, if she's got a powerful
antimatter
power
microreactor.
system, her energy system is pretty powerful. That's going to generate a lot of heat, so there's going to need to be some way of dealing with that heat.
Yeah. Hybrid does say that she thinks that Alita has been that phrase is an indoctrination, and it probably is. Anybody that goes in the military, you get indoctrinated for sure.
I kind of suspect there might be some aspect of her personality that's blended some of that indoctrination into part of the person she becomes. Because of the reset that she went through.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think even that indoctrination itself kind of just reinforced or built up what was already there. That's what I think.
Yeah,
possibly.
Well, and like Lee was saying, it comes full circle. She starts with a foundation, the indoctrination builds on that, and then it alters who you are. I can speak to that with college. Another place you can get indoctrinated.
Yep.
No, I was in the military. I definitely got indoctrinated there because
I
kind of need to be able to perform the duties they call on you to do.
Mm-hmm. It didn't really hit me until, what the heck was it? I don't know. I was at work for like 3 months or whatever, and one of the managers comes by and just talking with somebody else, and it's like, yeah, we've got an SAT today, and I about have a heart attack because I'm thinking standardized testing.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't even hear that word without having like flashbacks to nightmares of all of the months and months of studying and just putting yourself through just torture trying to learn stuff.
Yeah. Crest of Razors has a really good observation about Watchmen and Alita. Both Rorschach and Gerwishka both killed dogs, and they were both killed by OP characters in the movies they were in. Now Rorschach is not a villain, he's not. Gerwishka, I guess if you had to categorize him, I don't even see Gerwishka as a villain. I just think
I think he was just like the school bully.
Yeah, I think so, And Rorschach is, well, he's definitely not a villain, but he's got definitely in the old gray area, I think. But, both of them, they both killed dogs and they both got killed, by the overpowered characters in their movies. So I think that's a pretty interesting observation there, Crest. I think that's a pretty good one, actually. I hadn't thought of that. So
yeah, it is kind of an interesting point.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing with Grishka killing that dog, that little dog, Grishka says that's the only one with courage, and I think he was wrong about that because Alita had courage, but I guess he was talking about all the hunter warriors in there.
Yeah, I think he was talking about all the other hunter warriors in the bar.
Yeah, that they were just kind of backing away, Now I do think that Clive Lee of the White Hot Palm, I don't think he's afraid of Grishka like you would think in normal terms. But what he put was that, hey, there's no bounty on this guy, so it's not our problem,
Yeah, it wasn't worth anything to him.
Yeah, it wasn't worth him messing with because he probably figured the risk was too high and the reward was too low, so he's not going to get involved,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think killing that little dog, I think that was another thing that was just another little poke at Alita, I think, to do that. Because if you read the novelization or listened to the audio book like I have, it's in the audio book, Pat Cadigan says that little dog had more courage, had a heart with more courage than all of the hunter warriors in the bar combined, and that was interesting observation, and I think Alita recognized that. She was really good with that little dog and probably had already started, had a little bit of a link with him, and now here's this evil, thing, because Grishka, she probably may have thought of him as a thing, perhaps. Although in the manga, I guess she does kind of have some kind of empathy for him when, just before he dies, I guess.
Yeah.
But, but she probably thought of him as just an evil I got to get rid of, something like that. And killing that little dog was probably one of the straws that, broke the camel's back, as they would say,
Well,
Well,
he was a threat to the people she cared about. So
yes. Yeah, because she
Well,
did witness Grishka shooting those grind cutters at Ito and Hugo pushing him out of the way, So yeah, I think that was the second straw that broke the camel's back, Yeah, you're not getting away with this, dude. It's probably was her instinctive thoughts, I'm going to take care of you, because she does say that, he says, this is where I was born. And she said, this is where you're going to die. Wow. What a determination that is, you're going to die, whoa.
Well, and if you pick up on in the bar, right when Grishka comes through the door and says, I'm only here for the girl.
Yeah.
You can see, even when he just blows through the door, Alita's in the middle of beating everybody up and having a fight with Ito, yelling at him and whatnot. And it's like,
yeah.
And her tone does a complete 180.
Yeah.
And you can just, like, she's maybe not trembling with fear, but all of a sudden reality's here.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm only here. He's like, I'm only here for the girl. I was like, well, it's okay, Ito. This is my fight.
Yeah.
And at that point, she's made the decision to face that she is going to face
Yes. Yes.
And then, of course, the grind cutters and everything else. And I don't know that they've necessarily seen grind cutters work up until that point.
Yeah. Well, Hugo certainly had.
Hugo certainly had, yes.
Yeah.
Which you see the look of fear in his eyes when he sees them on Gruish because he comes through the door.
Yeah.
So it's all done very well.
Yes.
But what's interesting about the dog is that dog was, if it wasn't obvious before, it's obvious in the bar when Grishka says, so innocent.
Yeah.
That's what, that dog is the physical embodied. So that's what's cool, I think, about anime, is that almost everything has a deeper meaning and a deeper symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
So that dog is the physical embodiment of innocence.
Yes.
And Grishka says there's no place for innocence in Iron City and kills the dog.
Yeah.
Effectively, outright killing innocence.
Yeah.
So then Alita takes the dog's blood and puts that under her eyes.
Yeah.
effectively saying, you see this in a lot of war movies, especially where like you've got a group of really tight knit soldiers and the one best friend or whatever gets killed, and so they pick up that friend's weapon and kill the enemy with that weapon.
Yes.
Or or
they carry some
like
token of that friend into battle.
Right.
Yes.
Or they carry something of that friend into battle, or like in The Patriot when he kills that general with the American flag, or
Yeah.
like all these. There's all kinds. I mean, every movie has done lots of things like that, but especially in war movies. But that's what I find so cool about anime is there's always this deeper symbolism going on.
Yes.
So Alita puts that blood on her eyes, basically saying, firstly, innocence still has a place here.
Yeah.
Secondly, everything that you've just done, everything you have ever done, and everything that's about to go down is now on behalf of this dog you've just killed in defense of all of the innocents in Iron City. And over my dead body, are you getting away with it if I can help it?
And this blood from this innocent creature is the innocence that's going to kill you. That's probably what she's thinking at that point,
Yep, and that is what is screaming off of her face and everything during that fight.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, old Johnny Sci-Fi says he doesn't think Alita had any fear in the Kansas bar thing. I don't know if I agree with that or not. I mean, maybe she doesn't, but I think if
look at her face right before she jumps.
Yeah.
And when Grishka shoots a grind, like you were saying, Creaky, when he shoots a grind cutters at Ito and Hugo, and she looks up from the table, like, there's, like, she's not going to run away. Like, she's not going to run away, like,
from it. Exactly.
Like the overreactive, like,
oh my God, I don't want to die. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, I do think if she did have fear in there, she's going to use that, as like a motivation or help her, focus or something like that to take down this evil thing.
And that's my thing is I think she absolutely was afraid, but she used that fear, the anger, the just even compassion that's what she was using as fuel, because fear is just fuel.
Yes.
It can be used for positive, for negative, for inward, for outward. The question is, what are you going to use it for?
Yeah.
If you're going to use it for negative inward, well, that's what crushes you to the ground and you're paralyzed in fear and you can't move. Are you going to use it for positive outward? And that's exactly what we see Alita do in the bar.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I guess Hybrid has a good observation that Hunter warriors refusing to face Grishka shows that for them it's just the money.
Yeah.
It's not that just injustice or crime or whatever you want to call it needs to be fought. It's just, okay, I want to get, I want
it's just a paycheck.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Whereas with Alita, it's not, it is a drive that she has in her. I do not stand by in the presence of evil.
Exactly. And that to me is even more telling from the manga, because in the manga, Makaku, they're in the bar. They don't want to fight Makaku because he's the biggest, baddest man in town who's killed every hunter warrior that's come after him.
Yeah.
Whereas Grishka, not that he isn't intimidating.
Yeah.
But he's not Makaku.
Yeah.
The reason they don't want to face him is exactly what Hybrid said, is it's even more telling then, where it's like, wow, these people are shallow.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them were shrinking away from him, from fear, because you could see it. But Clive Lee of the White Hot Palm, with him, I don't think he has fear. I just think, the risk is too high, and I want to I want to go
Mhm.
after bounties. I want to continue to prosper or whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah, he was very calm and collected.
Yeah, he wasn't cowering in any way. Be neat to see him in the sequel too.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. I can't think of anything else, guys. I mean, we've already talked about in prior streams her superhuman abilities. I don't want to get into that. And fighting skills. I mean, we know they're formidable, no doubt about it. I know Safani Sung loves the action from the fighting, and I do too. I love it too. But we've had several streams on that, so we don't need to beat that to death. I think for me, the last thing to to maybe just focus on just a little bit is the fact that fourth bullet up from the bottom, the human qualities. God, she is so human. I mean, that is one of the things that's interesting about her. She is a cyborg. She is almost all machine, but she is so human, and she's like Hugo says, she is the most human person he had ever met. Think about that, living in Iron City for what is Hugo, probably 20 years old, maybe. Who knows?
At least early 20s, yeah.
Yeah, and he's never met anybody that has any kind of positive human qualities at all. He's all he knows is the cyborgs he's been jacking. The people that he associates with are just in it for the money. They're just trying to get by, and their humanity has suffered a lot. But not Alita. She is just so human, and I think that's one thing that wins him over too, I think, is the fact that she is definitely a cyborg, but she is so human,
Well, and part of that isn't just the positive traits, it's also the negative traits. It's the turmoil that makes her human and makes her human on a level that resonates so deeply with Hugo, is that she is flawed. She's not perfect. She has her good and bad and ups and downs and all that.
Yes.
And whereas, like you say, I mean, everybody in Iron City seems to be, they're motivated by money and that's about it, or they're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
So they're so desperate that nobody has any emotion at all.
Yeah. And
So
if they do have
so
emotion, yeah,
I was
go
just
ahead.
going to say, everybody's so busy looking out for themselves, they don't really seem to expand their vision, if you will, beyond their own needs of the moment.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think Iron City as a culture is so oppressive that it probably just beats people down, and at least that's what's in the novelization. They're just
That's the impression I got.
Yeah, they just beat the crap, and they've given up, and it's like you say, they're desperate, a lot of them. Although you do get the feeling people walking around at the beginning when she's eating that falafel and they're walking through Iron City. It's like the people at the mall,
Well, the impression I also got was that some of the various districts of Iron City are a little bit more upscale than other districts, so they might be a little bit safer, perhaps. I have a feeling that because of Ito's reputation, his neighborhood may be one of the safer neighborhoods, at least in the daytime.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, he does say that, doesn't he? Don't wander too far from this neighborhood.
And I found it all kind of relative too, where, like you said, I mean, people are certainly depressed and they're just trying to get by, but it's a very kind of real level of getting by.
Yeah.
Yeah. People always try to find
it's
some
like
way
what you read about in history, in like the mining towns, and you see a lot around the world in a lot of the corrupt countries and things like that. It's like people live in some horrendous conditions even today.
Yeah.
And they are definitely down on their luck, very reflected in what we see in the film version of Iron City. But at the same time, during the day, sometimes that's when people can let, maybe not their guard down, but at least
people will try to find something to celebrate in their life.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. I think all these people have given up.
In a lot of ways, the hardship even a hopeless hardship can drive some kind of prosperity, if you will.
Well, if you look at the street performer, that was the one guy playing the guitar. He
Yeah.
was getting donations from people. They'd come by
Yeah.
and toss a coin in his hat.
Yeah, and he
Or
was
whatever it was, yeah.
he was smiling too, you know.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing I want to see I want to see Alita laugh. I want to see a happiness, you know, kind of a laugh from her. I think I'd like to see that, you know.
Yep.
You know, kind of like in the manga, you know, when her both her feet are cut off and she's in the desert, and Figure 4 has carried her across the desert, and I think at that point they both figured, well, you know, we're still here in the desert. We don't have any food or water, you know, and it's probably the thought started crossing their mind that, we may die out here, you know, something like that, you know, and then all these fish come down from that.
I was going to
side.
say, is that when it starts raining fish?
Yes, and she is. You could just see that her laughing like that. Her and Figure 4 both. You know, I'd like to see Alita laugh like that in the you know, in a sequel. You know, so that'd be the neatest thing, I think. Just utter happiness, because you get the feeling that she's somewhat happy through a lot of the film, but it's not. It's a kind of, to me, it's like a restrained happiness almost because of the culture around that city. You know, I think that's part of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, she seemed happy in Hugo's apartment for part of that, you know.
Well, when she was riding around with him too, she was laughing.
Yeah, she was laughing there. Yeah, that was
I think basically she became more reserved after the trauma of losing Hugo.
Yeah.
That might have done some of that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, guys. Well, anyway, he says, fear is human. Yeah, that's right, Johnny Sci-Fi. Sure is. You know, and Alita definitely has a human brain, at least until she gets the Imaginos body. I think she's, you know, in the Imaginos body, she's more of an android, I think, than she is a cyborg. But even there, I think she still has human qualities because, you know, she's
also it's the difference between, you know, we use lots of words interchangeably that are not necessarily interchangeable. So human versus person.
Yes.
You know, it's like, well, yeah, once she's in her toon body, she is no longer a person, but she is human.
Yeah. Now she doesn't have a brain chip, does she, in her toon body? I thought, maybe she does.
I'm sorry, not tuned.
Imaginos.
Imaginos. Yeah, no, she does have a brain. She still has her brain in the toon body.
Yeah, that's right. So
because that's when she's reduced to just that. Isn't it in the manga? She's just her brain, basically on a stick on trial.
Something like that. Yeah.
Effectively, like they're keeping her basically like Shirin.
Yeah. Yeah, she goes through some tough times, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's just, and that I think to me is part of also what makes her relatable is you have somebody who is, physically speaking, you know, if you consider just your flesh human body, physically she's as disabled as a person could possibly be. She has a brain attached to a permanent life support system.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean she's not human. That doesn't mean she isn't still a genuine person. She's still that, even though you've got basically this disabled person who technology has allowed to have a greater ability than the healthiest, most physically fit person ever could have.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting dynamic because it really does, that dynamic puts on full display, absolute full display, her humanity.
Yeah, it does show that her brain does make her human. Mm-hmm. So when you put that brain in another body, it's still the same brain. And she was human without a body. Now she's human.
To her relatability in terms of all of the communities of the amputees and disabled and everything else, that just makes her that much more relatable because they can say, well, yeah, this is me. I'm, you know, there's no discrimination or anything like that.
Yes.
So it's just that many more levels to her likability and why she's relatable, and it's all done so incredibly well.
Yeah. Yeah, God, I love that movie. God Almighty. Yeah, of course we all know that, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I can't think of anything else. We've been going at it now for about 2 hours, and I just knocked a bunch of crap off of my desk. So
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that much time had passed.
yeah, well, like I say, I mean, hell, I could talk 2 more hours, but
I know we have.
yes, yes.
There's streams we have, and then all of a sudden somebody looks up the clock and is like, "Wait a minute, how long have we been going?"
Well, that's what I just did. I looked up and went, "Holy crap!"
Where's Angelus when we need him? Isn't he our moderator?
Oh, yeah, he is. If Angelus was here, we'd be going for 3 hours probably.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, that's a double-edged sword there. He seems to be both the moderator and the
Yeah.
protagonist or
Yeah.
whatever antagonist.
Yeah, Angelus, I think, we've interviewed people. I think he's a lot better interviewer than I am. I think, he did a really great job with El Lamont. He was really good with Billy Blair,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, he's coming incredibly. You watch the first streams, and he's come an incredibly long way.
Oh yeah, he has.
Well, we all have for the most part, but yeah,
Yes.
it's a journey.
Yeah,
It's a very nice journey to watch. So hopefully we get some news about a sequel soon at some point.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be next year. That's my feeling.
Mhm. My guess is all eyes are on Avatar 2.
Yep.
If that makes, I think it'll do $1 billion at the box office, just because people are going to want to see it, as long as it's not a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
As long as it's okay, I think people are going to want to see it just to see how it compares. But if it can break 2 billion, and certainly if it can come even close to 2.5,
yeah,
I think they'll have quite a bit of pulling power to.
Oh, I think so. They apply that same effort to a Alita sequel. Oh my God!
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have improved the technology and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I know Rodriguez said after Boba Fett, they were going to start working on the sequel pitch.
Yeah.
Him and Cameron were. So
I think he's going for a series first, though, because we talked about that because that was on that video where Alita was at WonderCon. He was
just as long as it's more Alita.
Yeah, that's right. Well, probably now Vladi will tell you he doesn't. He certainly would watch a series. We all would, but he would be disappointed, and I think I would too if we just got a series and didn't get a sequel.
Yeah,
now that said, I wouldn't go in depression.
Nope.
I would
love to see a series and at the very least a trilogy for the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I would too.
We're all right there with you.
Yeah, we are. The Creek wants to see Alita cinematic universe. That's what I want to see. So,
In 3D, guys, in 3D.
What was that, Safani?
It is sequel and 3D. I was going to say 3D, Creek.
Okay.
I want to see the Alita Banjo in VR mode, not VR mode.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand you there, Safani.
I can't talk to this. I was drinking the water. That was so hot today. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I'm okay today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm on luck.
Well, I think, I would like, I think we probably will get a series first. I think that's my gut feeling. Now, it'd be nice if they did both. If they simultaneously, or maybe did a series and then after, say maybe 6 or 8 episodes, immediately a sequel,
Well, and I think it's entirely possible to do because in the film, it cuts right from Hugo's death to now Alita's entering the Champions League.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to do a series, they could do that time in between, which we see in the manga.
Yes.
And as she's grieving Hugo's death and everything else, there's every opportunity in the world, not only to do a shot for shot of the manga, but also to introduce plenty of other characters and maybe not go quite your own way, but kind of go your own way, sort of like they did with the film.
Yeah.
So if they're going to do it, to me, that's how I would do the series.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because then you do the film, and then you do like whatever time while you're showing the series, you shoot the film, and then when you come then after the sequel, you do series season 2.
Yes.
Which would be something we did not see in the manga that would give a lot of creative freedom.
Yeah.
Is Alita in the Badlands.
Oh yeah.
Which
Yeah, balance too.
I think of all the things would go over pretty well because it would be very reminiscent of a lot of those old westerns.
Yes. Yes, it would.
And it would be something that isn't in the manga and doesn't interfere at all with what would be the third installment, because that pretty much picks up, oh, I've been in the Badlands for 13 years. Or
Oh
whatever.
God Almighty! Yeah, the
You know?
Badlands would be perfect for me because I do love westerns. I mean,
Yeah,
my favorite.
I can
Yeah.
just see it.
Yeah, my favorite western, my favorite movie, or two of my favorite movies before Alita. Certainly, I love Star Wars and Star Trek for sure, but two of my favorite movies before I latched on to Alita, and it's by far my favorite movie now, was Jeremiah Johnson and Once Upon a Time in the West. Boy, the Badlands could be just like very similar to those two. Man, I'd love to see that. God Almighty. Yep. And you know what else would be pretty cool for them to do is if they took the Mars Chronicles and made an anime out of it and toned it down where kids could get into it.
Yeah.
This would be pretty cool. Now they'd have to tone it down quite a bit, the Mars Chronicles.
So to that point, Creaky, have you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes, I saw that with my grandson some years ago. Yeah, that's right.
The television show?
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I saw the movie, The Last Airbender.
Oh, the television show is much
the
better.
movie's garbage. The television show is, I mean, I guess it's not technically an anime because there's some stipulation that it has to be shot in Japan to be an official anime, but it was animated by Japanese.
Okay.
It has a very anime style to it.
Yeah, it has the style, it has everything. It just wasn't shot. It wasn't like filmed or however it is they do it in Japan, so they couldn't call it an anime. But that is very much what you're talking about in terms of a tone down for a younger generation. But it's still, I mean, the first half of the first season is certainly more kiddish than not.
Yeah.
But it slowly but surely, each episode goes by, it ramps up. By the end of the third season, you're getting into some pretty dark, gritty topics.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
It's still not Alita manga level by any means. It is, PG, but
okay.
Still, it's very much what you're talking about.
Yeah, they tackle some pretty mature subjects.
If you're looking for something to pass the time, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Okay, well, I'll have to check that out. But right now, I'm probably gonna watch Salvage Marines. I want to see that. That's going to be 6 episodes. And Maxie has been after me for over a year now to finish watching that a certain scientific railgun. I kind of enjoy that thing. I mean, I don't like subs as a general rule.
Yeah,
because you got to read and then you kind of miss the action up on the screen. But I'm kind of enjoying that.
Okay.
Now some people don't like a certain scientific railgun, but I'm kind of enjoying it. So
But no, you saying that made me think of that, so I wanted to say it while I was thinking of it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just, I'm just happy, James Cameron gave me the birthday present of Avatar in theaters on my birthday. So
oh yeah.
December 16th is. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
And
Oh,
definitely looking forward to what I'm hopeful that means for Alita.
yeah. By the way, Johnny Sci-Fi, thanks for the compliment there, bud. I appreciate it. And I intend to continue to do Alita vids. I am
Yes,
good.
you do a wonderful job.
Well, I'm going to continue to do 3 vids a week until we get that sequel or series. And then after that, I probably will have to drop back to 2.
Yeah,
yeah.
My video was not quite up to your caliber, but I think it still did okay.
Hey, any video about Alita, I'm going to watch it. I'm serious. I will. I will not laugh at it. You know, I enjoy it. There's one video or a series, I think it's 3. It's like an animated series that I can't remember the name of the person that did this, but it was about Alita going in, her and Shamira fighting zombies or something like that, and Nova comes down and all that stuff. It's not, you know, canon if you want to think of it. It doesn't mirror the story. But I watched those and I said, well, that's pretty good. That was really creative of that person, you know, to come up with that. You know, and I can't remember who it is now, you know, but it was really creative. And I can't remember the name of it. There's like 3 episodes. It was really, really good, you know. So, okay, guys. Well, anyway, we've been going for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. And once again, I could talk for another hour. I could easily do that. But we probably ought to bring the old stream to a close, I think. Did we miss anything? I don't think we did.
Goodness gracious, if we miss something, there ain't going to be much left of it. It's going to look pretty tattered.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll come up with something else next week too, you know. Okay, so anyway, I guess that being with it, well, there it is. Did we miss something? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we pretty much touched on everything we can, you know, with why Alita is so engrossing to us or so encompassing, you know, why she has hooked all of us, you know. I mean, Alita has truly got a passionate army behind her. That's for sure, you know. And yeah, that's right, Hybrid. We want that damn sequel. I know the Creek does.
You have seen Ghost in the Shell in the movie?
Yeah, well, that's a good movie. I watched that movie. I liked it.
I haven't seen it, Ghost in the Shell. I don't know about that movie.
Yeah, you should watch that movie. I liked it. Well, I like.
Did a good job with it.
Yeah, I like Scarlett Johansson.
The old one. I want to watch the old one. The new one is better. What's the difference in the old movie and the new movie?
Well, I like Scarlett Johansson. I mean, you know, I think she's pretty cool.
I liked it because they took both of them, sort of like, you know, what they did with Alita, where they took it a slightly different route, but they still kept the essence of the animated one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so it is certainly different, and I think the criticisms were valid and all that, but I think they did a good job with it.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, well, for sure, Alita loves her Uncle Creek, and that's because he's wanting to do anything he can to get that sequel for our girl. He wants to do that. So, since she loves her Uncle Creek, you see that plasma weapon she's got. I wouldn't contest that with her if I were you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a big problem for you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've said I think I said on last week's stream, you know, that there were times in a movie where I kind of wanted, you know, just the character, just watching it and getting engrossed in the movie. Obvious, a movie, you know, but like, you know, I wanted to like hug her, you know, like when she was standing in front of that mirror, you know, when she chopped that tear in half, and maybe, you know, want to kind of, maybe she's my niece, want to protect her type thing. And then I thought, oh, okay, wait a minute. She don't need me to protect her. She can definitely handle herself. That's for sure, you know.
I would say overall, those 3 mirror scenes were, if there was anything that summarizes Alita's likability,
yeah,
each one of those mirror scenes really does summarize a tone that is just, it's beautiful. I mean, the whole.
Oh yeah.
You start out somebody who's basically purely innocent and content, then you move. Then the mirror punch is focused and with a purpose.
Yeah.
And then the final one is, I might be a mess, but I am still together.
Yeah.
No matter how distraught or confused or whatever I may be, I am still in control. I am still me.
Yes.
It's very, which then back to all the other things that happen in the film, you see all of the impulsiveness,
Yeah.
but at the end, it's like it brings it together, and it's like, no matter how
Yes.
impulsive I may be, I am still together. I am
Yeah.
still in control. It's
Yeah, well, I kind of agree to what you said a while back, though, that, yeah, I think she can be an impulsive, but I think she does. I think she does kind of consider some things, you know. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think it's blind impulsiveness. I think it's,
no,
you know, I think it's kind of a maybe leaping where she shouldn't, maybe would be one of them, but it's not a blind impulsiveness, I don't
No.
think, you know. Yeah.
no, it's an active decision that says, okay, I don't know what I know I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyways
Yes.
because I'm the only one who can. Which
Yeah,
they
John-
say quite bluntly in the manga that I'm
Yes.
not. All kinds of good stuff. I think we pretty well covered it.
I think so. Johnny Sci-Fi says that having two daughters himself kind of draw that
Yeah.
connection that drew him in. I think Do Not Stand By, when he's been on the stream, he said that too. You know, Finestro, I'm the Alita Army Protector. I don't know about that. I think we're all doing everything we can to get that sequel, get that series, get more content. You know, so I can't take credit for being all that. You know, but we all do what we got to do, you know. So that's what that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it because we want to do it, and we want our girl to get that sequel.
Anything and everything.
I think
That's right.
Logan was also back.
That's right. Okay,
And-
well, the Creek doesn't need to run his mouth too much anymore because he'll run his mouth another hour and a
Yeah.
half. So, so yeah, Alita loves her Uncle Creek for sure. And of course, in the Creek's book, this lady right here is, in terms of being an actor, is number one, boy, in the Creek's book. I mean, this is one superb actor right here. No, Finestro, you don't have to be sorry about the protector thing. I appreciate the compliment, you know, I certainly do. But yeah, Rosa is number one in my book, man. She brought Alita to life. She is a great actor, and I'll tell you, in Undone, she is great. I saw both. I've seen both seasons of that, and she is just superb in that thing. I mean, she just is, you know. So
I
I
started
got
watching the second season of Undone, and I was about 3/4 of the way through it before I realized they put all the episodes up. And then I'm like, oh, I've been that engrossed this long, and it hasn't been an hour; it's been half a day.
Yeah, well, I did that. I sat there watching with the intent of only watching one episode,
Uh-huh.
and then they get to the end of it and say, "Oh, wait a minute, what happens?" You know, so you got
It's
to
like,
got to
keep
watch the
going.
next one,
Keep
and then you got to
going.
watch the next one.
Uh-huh.
So she did that to me.
Yes. Yep.
So anyway,
Right there with you.
yeah. Okay, but certainly, yeah, she is number one in the Creek's book, and it certainly don't hurt that she's pretty, because she really is, you know. And we all love Rosa, that's for sure, you know. And I'm looking forward to Rosa Day on September the 9th, that's for sure. You know, we'll have to do something that week. I see, when is September? I think that's what date is that?
Yes, welcome to August, Creaky, as I
Yeah.
just found out. You know,
Yeah.
I said back in January I was gonna crash your stream, and then I rolled over in my bed, and now it's August.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, September 9th. I'm sorry. September the 9th is on Friday, which is when I do streams.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
convenient.
Perfect. You know, so I imagine
Lovely.
that.
All right, well, we know what our topic's gonna be.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. So anyway, well, of course, we know what the topic's going to be every week, and we'll have to do some special things for every day of the week. You know, that'll be Alita Week is what it'll be, and we'll cap it off on September the 10th on Radio Chaos. That's probably what we'll do.
And you do have one for 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah. Before 9/11. Yeah, that's right.
I don't want to talk about it. It's giving me nightmares. It's making me dream nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah, 9/9 party with the Creek and Angelus. That's exactly right. So provided he's not working. So yeah, Rosie, you're our lady. That's for sure. You're our queen.
I know about Ellie and his birthday in September too. His birthday in September next weekend. I can't say her name. Like, is it Ellie?
Well, you were on the stream, the Radio Chaos stream last week, weren't you?
Which one? Me something.
Yeah, because I thought I went back and looked at it and I saw you were on it. So
I'll be on it. I was looking in the chat. I was reading in the comments.
well, no, I thought I saw your avatar on the stream.
Oh, you did because everything looked for you. Where's Crick go?
Okay.
You tend to be busy sometimes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Well, anyway, I guess before we sign off, I want to say a couple of things here about, and y'all stick around for the end because I got that special little video that I had an animator do some neat things for me. So anyway, stick around for that. It's pretty cool, but tomorrow on Radio Chaos, we're going to do that Christmas in July thing. And I have no idea what the actual topic is. I know Brent Rankley's going to be on.
Yeah, that's me, Creaky.
That's you, Creaky, just a fan. That's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. God, why didn't I make that link? So anyway, but it's going to be, you want to talk about it a little bit there?
Yeah. So the initial kind of pipe dream intention was that, Christmas in July, the saying is just when you're talking about something that's really good. Well, I knew that a lot of Comic-Cons happened in June and July.
Yeah.
And so I was hoping we'd get some news out of them, even just like the slightest mention or whatever of an update. And then it would indeed be Christmas in July for the Alita.
Yes, it would.
Hobby.
Yeah, it would.
But the main kind of topic at hand is that I was not on your Christmas stream because I had some conflicts that I could not get on. But nevertheless, it is a continuation / revisit of that, of what would Alita be as a Christmas special.
Okay.
If you were. And so I've got a couple pages. I don't have 99 slides.
Well, whatever you got, just I'm going to be the stream manager, so I'll share your screen. We'll put it up there.
Yep,
no problem.
All good. But that's the main focus, is just kind of a revisit of that. And I've got some fairly interesting ideas. If you saw the music video I posted to Twitter and Facebook.
No, I haven't.
If you type into, I should be able to post it in the chat, can I?
I don't know if you put it in the private chat, I'll put it in the public chat.
Okay, I'll see.
Because I don't think.
But that should. It's a little bit different. It's an interesting direction or an interesting perspective.
Okay. Should be a good stream tomorrow then.
Let me. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I usually put together like a PowerPoint. It's usually pretty simple. Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me.
Yeah, I don't have anything complicated. So
no, that's okay. That means I don't have to put together much of a PowerPoint. Oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong one. I want to over here to public chat. Okay, so here it is, folks. Here's the YouTube video. So
I don't know if it defaults to mute on your screen, but
yeah, let's see if I can play it. You want me to play it here, or you want to save it for tomorrow? Why don't we save it for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'd save it for tomorrow, or whoever's already seen it now. But
yeah,
I'd save it for tomorrow.
Okay, so Should be a good stream tomorrow, I think. Yeah,
I
Christmas
think
in
so. It'll be
July.
entertaining.
Maybe
Nice.
tomorrow, guys. I'm not sure, guys. I
Yeah.
had to fish the movie and watch the movie right now, Craig.
Okay.
I'm watching. You say Savage Marines. I'm gonna see right now, Craig.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to watch Salvage Marines. That's for sure. I'm
Yeah.
going to watch a second. Like I say, I got that DM from Elle that she told me she was glad. Elle Lamont said she was happy that I liked it. So cool.
I can think about it was her birthday in September too, guys. Her birthday next week in September.
Yeah, watch that thing, man. That thing's good. So what I saw, now the first one, it sets up a lot of stuff. You know, you don't get into heavy action. I mean, they do some training in there, like, you know, people that's pretty intense, you know, some of the training, but it's training. They don't get into a mission until the second episode. That's what I'm going to go after the stream here, you know, so.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I see in hardcore.
It's on Popcorn Flicks. So, you know,
Okay.
Yeah, go watch that thing. I think it's going to be great. It'll be a 6-episode series. So
I was checking the app on my TV, guys.
yeah, I think you get it on Roku TV is where I got it. Yeah,
Okay.
I use a smart TV. I think that you can work cool.
Well, if you got a smart TV, I know I tried to add it on my smart TV, and my TV, I don't know what it is, but they don't have an agreement with them or something. I don't know, and you couldn't add it, but I do have a Roku box, so I added it there. So I don't care.
I have Roku too.
You know, if these people don't want it, if they don't want to have an agreement with somebody, I'll just go around them. You know, so it's no big deal. You know, yeah.
The technology changed so much.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, join us for the Radio Chaos stream tomorrow. Like I say, I think Angelus is going to be the host. We're going to have Just a Fan on there, and I'm going to be the stream manager. I think Maxie's going to be. I think he's going to be. I wouldn't say AWL, but he is going to be absence with leave, I guess, because I think he's being wifed. So yeah, it is what it is. I get it. I used to be married, so I know how that's like. So.
Well, I'm not one to talk. I got nothing. I've been AWOL for 6 months or better. I don't know why I thought buying a house would give me more free time, but never mind that.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you dropped by here or there, Just a Fan, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, I'm glad too.
Yeah.
I have to go somewhere tomorrow, guys. I'm shopping in Best Buy and Walmart, Costco maybe.
Sounds like a good day.
Yeah, it does.
A shopping day for me tomorrow. I had to buy something electronics.
Yeah, Sunday I'm going to probably go to IKEA because I want to buy some furniture for the house. You know, upgrade my furniture. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice.
Anyway, yeah, it's going to be cool.
You do a home theater setup, Pete? Home theater?
Well, not set up for my computer, but for I have a big screen TV, and I kind of got a hodgepodge setup for it, and I want to get something a little nicer.
Do you 4K? Is this 4K something?
Yeah, it's a 4K. Yeah.
I know about technology and most of the times technology is my favorite.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, my TV, you watch Alita Battle Angel, the IMAX version, it knocks your head off. I mean, God Almighty, it's great, you know. Yeah. I'm so spoiled now. Now I'll watch Alita on the regular Blu-ray. I'll do it. You know, I mean that's our girl. I'm gonna watch it, you know, but when I have a choice, I always watch the IMAX version, you know.
Do you have a regular TV for that, or do you have
I have 4K TV in my bedroom, my room.
Yeah. But is it something special to play the IMAX version, or is it like a different ratio? Or how does...
Mine's VCO.
No, it's not, there's nothing special about it.
Okay, I'll have to try. I have not tried the IMAX version, so I will have to see.
Mine does. I was glitching the IMAX, IMAX settings and my TV saying I was bypassing hacking the old TVs.
Well, you see my videos that I put on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
They're off the IMAX version of the movie.
Oh, interesting. I had not realized that.
But that's on my computer though, so I mean that's a little different, you know. But yeah, I do have a DVD that has the IMAX version. So
okay,
yeah, it looks great, man. As a matter of fact, I've been telling Lee and and Do Not Stand By that we were going to have I still plan on doing this, Lee, but having a kind of a Alita watch party, on my big screen TV, because Do Not Stand By has been really good about inviting us to, inviting me and Alita Rave up to his place, so we can watch it in 3D. And I'll tell you, that knocks my head off. I mean, that thing's unbelievable. It's like looking through a window,
Yeah.
for me, it is really great, and he's got a great setup outside and all that. And it's really nice, being outside in Colorado and, seeing the mountains in the background and that kind of stuff, it's really
that'd be an
nice.
incredible backdrop.
Oh yeah. It's great, so. Now that would be quite a
vlogs. Why can't do vlogs in Cleveland Creek?
Well, yeah. Well, it is awesome, but I would say for Lee, that would be quite a hike to drive all the way up to Arvada. I mean, that'd be about 100 miles from his house.
Oof,
so
yeah,
that'd be a kind of a hike. For me, I have to drive 25 miles, but Lee would be driving like 80 miles just to get to my house, probably.
I'd drive it if I only had that far to go. I'd drive it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing it. Just unfortunately, money is a bit of an issue. So
yeah,
pricing for hikes. Like that's so expensive, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
I wouldn't do it more than once.
Because I was what you guys in that state. I don't know about America, and I don't know ever. I was staying in California beside you guys.
All right, guys. Well, we're wearing this thing out, I think. So anyway, it's kind of time. I guess it's time for us to kind of go through the ending here. But why is this image here? Well, that image is there because the Creek likes it, and he's running the stream. And to paraphrase Gorishka, I am only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us are only here for our girl, So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. Now stick around. There's a kind of special little surprise that I want you guys to see on the outro. So, but on my count of 3, I guess we'll do the call to action. And that would be 1, 2, 3.
Film those sequels, baby.
All right. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Alita Radio Chaos stream.
Take care, guys.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita Livestream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.